Rex Heuermann has officially pleaded guilty and confessed to killing 8 women. For over 30 years, these murders went unsolved.
Breaking news, the alleged Gilgo Beach serial killer is now charged with 2 additional murders, bringing the total to 6.
Until one mistake exposed everything. In April 2026, inside a New York courtroom, Rex Heuermann finally admitted the truth. The man accused of being behind the infamous Gilgo Beach killings pleaded guilty to 7 murders and confessed to an 8th victim.
Have you discussed this case with your attorney?
Yes, I have.
Have you had enough time to discuss this case with your attorney?
Yes, I have.
After discussions with your lawyer, you feel it's in your best interest to plead guilty rather than go to trial?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the manner in which your attorneys represented you in this case?
Yes, I am.
I must say that the attorneys on both sides of this case have been excellent, unbelievable lawyers. Do you understand that by pleading guilty to a charge, that is the same as if you had gone to trial and been found guilty of that charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you're waiving a number of very important rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
8 women, 8 lives stolen, and nearly 3 decades of fear, mystery, and unanswered questions. Most of the victims were vulnerable women. Some were escorts who investigators say were contacted through online ads and burner phones, making them easier to target without raising suspicion. And for years, nobody knew who was responsible. These crimes would eventually become known as the Gilgo Beach serial killings, a case that haunted Long Island for years. Bodies were discovered along a quiet stretch of beach, wrapped, hidden, and scattered across isolated locations like someone was trying to erase every trace of them. But what makes this case even more disturbing is how calculated it all allegedly was. Prosecutors say Heuermann carefully targeted women using burner phones and fake identities. He would arrange meetings, lure victims in, and investigators say many were strangled before their bodies were dumped along the coastline. Some victims were even dismembered, and then investigators uncovered something chilling. According to prosecutors, Heuermann allegedly kept what they described as a blueprint, a detailed planning document connected to how the killings were carried out and how evidence could be avoided. The murders stretched from 1993 all the way to 2010. That's nearly 20 years of killing without being caught. For a long time, the investigation went cold. No suspect, no arrests, no answers. Just grieving families waiting for the phone call they thought might never come. Then, everything changed in 2022. A new task force reopened the case and began re-examining old evidence with modern technology. They tracked phone records, studied witness descriptions, and focused on one major clue: a vehicle connected to a possible suspect. That suspect was Rex Heuermann. But what truly shocked people was the evidence that finally exposed him. Investigators secretly recovered DNA from a discarded pizza crust Heuermann threw away. That DNA allegedly matched evidence connected to one of the victims. And just like that, a mystery that survived for decades finally began to unravel. Heuermann was arrested in 2023, and now, in 2026, he has confessed. In court, he admitted to the killings one by one, while families of the victims sat just feet away from him. Some cried, some stared in silence. Others finally got the answers they had spent years searching for. Authorities say Rex Heuermann is expected to spend the rest of his life in prison with multiple life sentences. But what unsettles many people the most is that for decades he appeared completely ordinary. He was an architect, a neighbor, a husband, a family man. Someone people walked past every single day without suspecting anything. But behind that normal life, prosecutors say, was a killer hiding in plain sight. And now, after years of silence, the truth is finally out. If you enjoy deep dives into real criminal cases and unsolved mysteries, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because some stories are far darker than fiction. And tell me in the comments, do you think investigators have uncovered all of Heuermann's victims? Or could there still be more secrets buried in this case? Investigators say what made the case even more disturbing was not just who was responsible, but how close he was living to a completely normal life. For years, while families were searching for answers, Rex Heuermann was going home, eating dinner with his family, and continuing life like nothing ever happened. Authorities believe the crimes were carefully planned, with victims targeted and brought into situations where he could stay completely under the radar. Some of the most chilling details revealed during the investigation point to how methodical he was. He would allegedly switch between identities, using burner phones and hidden online activity to avoid leaving a clear trail. Every move was calculated to make sure nothing traced back to him. What shook investigators even more was how close danger was to home. While public reports confirmed the victims were not discovered inside his household, detectives described a terrifying reality. A man accused of these killings was raising a family and maintaining a normal home life just miles away from where the investigation eventually closed in on him. The contrast between his private life and the accusations against him is what made the case so disturbing for many people following it. As more evidence was uncovered, it became clear this wasn't random violence. It was sustained over decades, with victims disappearing one after another, while the case went cold for years. The breakthrough only came when modern forensic work and digital tracking finally connected the patterns investigators had missed for so long. Now, with the confession on record, the focus has shifted from who did it to how many warning signs were ignored along the way. And for many people, the most haunting question remains: how does someone maintain two completely different lives for so long without anyone noticing?